Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Tomb Raider Legends, the board game, is something I didn't even know existed. I didn't know that I needed it in my life. I was at a game store randomly down in Winter Haven, Florida, and I saw this. I was like, hey, this Tomb Raider, yeah, I used to play this game back on PlayStation 1. This could be interesting. And I really haven't played much of it since Tomb Raider 2, to be honest. I did not complete that game. So it was interesting to play this game. Well, you all get to be Tomb Raider. That solves a problem, but from different generations. So, you might have the PlayStation 1 version and then, the PlayStation 5 version or whatever. And you're going around this circle and you're playing cards. There's a lot of take that. You're trying to hurt the other people. You're trying to investigate the ruins. You got to find the artifact and get out. There are 2 fake artifacts that make people think that you have it. But a lot of the game is trying to progress through this circle, get through the tomb, get the artifact, and get out. But while you're doing that, people will be playing cards that will help themselves, but also sometimes hurt you. And that's the matter of the game. I found this game to be really fun. It kind of surprised me how good of a time we had, and I felt really far behind, not even trying to on purpose, and I thought I was going to lose the game. And I ended up coming back and winning just because of the way the card play came out and things happened and the abilities that happened. And it was really, really fun. It's not a game you can take too seriously. This is not the next great Euro game. This is an adventure with Lara Croft and Lara Croft and Lara Croft and Lara Croft. And you're going through it and kind of buzzing through it and playing cards down and moving ahead. And each of the tiles that you go to has different actions and different things. And you have to solve things there or kind of beat down an opponent there in order to move on. And there's a whole bunch of things kind of going on at one time. For a 60-minute or less Tomb Raider game, I felt like it hit the target for us. It's not the greatest game in the world. It's not going to blow your socks off. But if you're a fan of Tomb Raider, I think this might be something you want to check out. I think they did a pretty darn good job with it. And it's going to be a keeper for us. Here's Tomb Raider Legends, the board game. It's a Square Enix game. I had never heard of it. Apparently it was released in 2019. Got a really cool cover, which is a little brighter. It's a little dark, but you can kind of see what's going on there. We have a starting player card, which just goes in front of the starting player, and this will move around the board. So instead of a token, you get a card. Everybody's going to get a player aid. These player aids are pretty cool. They are really, really big, probably bigger than they need to be, but nice. But they show Lara, every different Lara, from a different era of the game. So if you can see right there. So you'll be one of those 4 Laras. There's nothing else unique about them, just the color of the miniature you'll be using. There'll be a rule book, which we'll take a look at in a few minutes. You're going to get a board. This will sit in the middle of it to kind of show you what level you're on. You're going to get the goal and the start, which will be the end tiles. These are very, very thick, very nice tiles. You get 3 possible climax tiles. They pretty much all work the same. You cannot progress through here. Then you're going to have a bunch of these tiles. And you won't see them all in one game. It'll probably take you maybe 3 games to see them all, depending on how you shuffle them up. And they'll all do different things with different artwork from the different games. And they look fantastic, actually. The artwork on these tiles are really well. These are really thick, very nice tiles. Now, these cards here, I have sleeved mine. You can see they really don't have any artwork on them. They do have the different colors on them. I had to sleeve them. They were a little thin. Now, the miniatures you're going to get, you're probably not going to want to paint these. There's really no detail to them whatsoever. They're just different colors. So really, they don't hold much purpose. Little black cubes that you get are standard. These little things that track your things, they're fine. Then you're going to get a bunch of cards. Now, I had to stick mine under here because once you sleeve them, they're not going to fit inside the custom insert anymore. But you can kind of see the artwork from different eras of the game. And you'll be able to do it as if that. So they're fine. I sleeved mine because I didn't want to mark. These you really don't want marked. The artifact cards really don't want marked. It was just easier for me to sleeve them all. It's a 10 thinner than I like. I'm not a big sleever of games. Your mileage may vary. I'm not saying it's required, but it's what I wanted to do for the game. Components are pretty good. The card's a little thin, but these make up for it. And the artwork I found was really good in the game. Here's the rulebook. You can see a picture from the front. It's a little off-centered from where it was a picture of all of the components of the game. That is fantastic. General setup, just some general things you need to know, and then how to set up the player things. It's really easy. Just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're set up. Now, progression of the game. This is all of the rules in the game right here. It kind of tells you with a nice little chart right here how things will be up. Then you have some explanation of the action cards. Go through each card. Some of the terminology. It's very simple things you'll be doing in this game. Little breakdown of the rule cards. A fact over here. This is going to tell you what each of the tiles do, and some of the cards you may have trouble with will be in there. Very easy. Then a cheat sheet. I didn't really find find this very useful. I didn't really use this very much, but it does list everything in here that you can easily see the cards. You know, if you want to, that kind of thing. I don't think it's taken that seriously, but if you want it, it's there. You are going to have player aids on your boards, the progression of the game, which is really very simple, and a turn outline, very simple to utilize. So you don't really need a player aid because it's all right here. Excellent job. Before we jump into the game, I want to show you how the player aid is going to work. This will track your injuries. Every time you receive an injury, your hand size will go down, and you will track your experience up here. Anytime you can want, if you have at least 3 experience, you can spend it to use a boost action on one of your cards. You'll see it here. So normally you can draw 1 card, but if you boost using 3 experience, you can draw 2. On a turn, you're going to take your cards and think about what you want to do, and you're going to place 3 cards face down. Everybody in turn order, starting with the first player, will activate their first card, and you'll do what it says, and then everybody will go around in turn order second, and then your third. When everybody's done, you will take your 3 actions and put them here in the exhausted pile, and the next round you will play an additional 3 cards down, whatever ones you want, and activate those the same way. The trick to it is that whatever's in your exhausted pile will come back in your hand with the 1 remaining card, and these cards will go in your exhausted pile. So whatever you play this round will not be available next round. That's a general overview of it. Let's go ahead and jump into the board, and I'll show you how you play the game, but to understand this is important. Each game, you're going to start with the start and the goal right there. You'll take the climax tiles, you'll shuffle those and put one of those out. You'll take the rest of the area tiles and you'll shuffle them out, putting one out on each location, and then you will have the board set up. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left over, so theoretically you wouldn't see everything to the second game if everything came up perfectly. You're then going to take the artifact card and the 2 replicas. You're going to shuffle them up, and you're going to put them out on the 3, 4, and 5 locations. So you know that there's an artifact on these, but 2 of them are fake. Each player will take their miniatures and put them on the start tile. Now what you're trying to do is get all the way to the goal, but you got to have the artifact card in your possession to get to the goal cards. No matter what climax tile you use, it's always going to say you cannot progress beyond this area without the artifact. That's just how that tile is going to work, but there may be some additional things on it. So on your turn, you're going to have these cards. I've already showed you how the programming works. This one allows you to reduce a threat level, draw a raid card, advance to the next tile, etc. So the first thing you'll do is probably always rush. Very easy, and advance to the next tile, which means you just move on. So when you flip one of these over, you're going to take a black cube and you're going to put over what's highlighted. If you're the first person to enter, you will do what's ever here. In this case, it says receive an injury, so you'll receive an injury. These all might have different things to do on it. If there is something here, injuries cannot be healed in this area. It just tells you what's going on at all times. Now, this is going to start with a threat level of 6. You do have some cards, like the action card, that will reduce the threat level by 2, which makes it go down through here. Nobody can move past this location until the threat level is on 0 and comes back out. So when you move there, you can, as long as this is on one of the threat levels, you cannot move forward. Now, some of these tiles will have something on this side. In this case, it says draw 1 raid card. If you're the one to move the threat token and make it come off, then you'll be the one to draw the raid card. That's a one-time effect. Everybody does what's on this side when they move into it, but this side you only get if you're the one to take the threat token off. When you move into these locations, you'll be able to grab whatever card is on here. In this case, it's a fake one. You're trying to get your guy all the way to the end, and you have to have the artifact, which is here. When you get there, if you're in possession of this, then you'll win the game. But just gaining is not enough, because sometimes you're going to get these raid cards, and you'll be able to get those by using the explore action. When you gain these cards, they'll allow you to heal, maybe, or block somebody from stealing, or maybe you get to go to advance in that tile because you discovered a shortcut, or you can steal from somebody that's not in your location, etc. So some of these cards, like the steal card or the assault, will let you steal cards from other people, and there are cards that you can gain that will block those, and you want to hold on to those as you go through the game. But that's a quick overview of how you play Tomb Raider Legends, the board game. Who should buy this game? This is going to be strictly for Tomb Raider fans. With that said, there's a family weight board game here that is actually kind of fun. You're going to be moving through the locations, activating them, fighting things off, playing cards to increase your situation. It's all about pre-programming those cards and hoping it all works out for you. And I assure you, sometimes it will not. But we had a blast with this one. We had a good time with it. Tomb Raider Legends, especially if you're a fan of Tomb Raider. Keeper for us.